So very good evening, friends. Hope so. I am audible. I'm also checking. Yeah, right, my dear friends. Now, fine. Hope so. I am audible. Today, my dear friends, we have started one new initiative. So we'll be focusing on the answer writing, right? Particularly, say for example, this GS 1, 2, 3, 4, and of course essay, including ethics. It will be covered. Okay. So today I'll be starting with geography. Geography is very much part of your general studies paper 1. Okay. So GS1 geography plays a very important role every year. Somewhere I understand somewhere between 80 marks to 110 marks, right? It varies from say for example year to year. 80 to 110 marks, it will be based on geography. So geography plays a very vital role when it comes for your mains examination as such. And let me tell you, my dear friends, every mark in main examination is very important. Every mark. See, preliminary examination, normally we have an idea. Let's say, for example, if the cutoff is somewhere around 80, 85, right? 80, 85. Yeah. So, very good evening, Rajendra Mehra. Right. Very good evening. Right. Now, somewhere when I talk about this preliminary examination, it is just a qualifying examination. It's more like a hurdle. You have to just cross the hurdle. Whether you cross this hurdle by a meter or a millimeter, that doesn't matters. That doesn't matter. Right? Only thing is that I have to qualify. That's it. Whereas mains examination is not like that. Nearly 85 percentage of weightage. Nearly 85 percentage of weightage on my total marks. Right? Approximately 85. Okay. Somewhere, when I talk about, say, for example, out of 2025 marks, somewhere I understand 1750 marks are contributed from this mains examination. So, one thing I understand, right? Mains examination plays a very important role in the service selection as such. And my dear friends, let me tell you, towards the lower order of the ranks, towards the lower order of the ranks, normally 1 mark, my dear friends. Normally, you'll be finding 10 to 12 members or 10 to 12 candidates will be having the same mark, right? Somewhere, let me tell you, if the mark difference between candidate A and candidate B, say for example, assume that marks difference is somewhere around 8 or 9 marks, my difference. Just 8 or 9 marks, say 8 or 9 marks, right? Somewhere I understand it is just one question, right? One question. When I talk about mark difference of 8 or 9, out of 2025 marks, this 8 or 9, that too in the lower order mark, I'm just telling you, lower order rank. The rank difference, if you ask me, the rank difference can be approximately 100 in rank, right? See, for example, general studies paper, normally we have two types of, say, for example, question based on the marks and word limit. One I call them as what 10 marker, another I call them as what 15 marker, my dear friends. Okay, 10 marker and 15 marker. Assume that, say, for example, nobody gets 15 out of 50. If I write an extraordinary answer, I might get somewhere around 8 marks. My dear friends, that's the reason I said, see, just somewhere if I leave one question, right? You may wonder, right? Means so many questions are there. What big difference it will make if I'm leaving one question? If you're leaving one question, somewhere I am leaving 100 ranks. Of course, I'm talking about the condition specific part of the ranking systems. Okay. That's the reason always we say if you leave one question, if you leave one question, somewhere you're leaving a good cadre. If you're leaving two questions, you are leaving a good service. If you're leaving, say, for example, three or four questions, you are leaving the service itself. So, I should understand that mains examination, every question is very important. Every question. And I know the fact I do not have choice. Optional subject, essay, yes, we have a choice. But when I talk about the other papers, GS 1, 2, 3, and 4, I do not have anything called as choice. If 20 questions are asked, I am expect to write 20 questions, right? It means there is no choice. My dear friends, if there is no choice, somewhere I should understand I cannot leave any part of the syllabus. So first and foremost, when it comes for mains examination, what is very, very important, I'll tell you, right, is knowing your syllabus part is very, very important. Preliminary examination is more like an indicative syllabus. Nobody knows that what exactly is the syllabus. Nobody knows. We speculate that, okay, this is what the syllabus is all about, right? We do not know the complete syllabus. It is runs out of speculation. But mains, it is not the case. Mains examination syllabus is given in a detailed fashion. So, geography answer writing practice. Yes, we are starting with answer writing practice for geography. But what I'll tell you, first and foremost, for writing an answer, I should know the content. Content of what, if you ask me? Content of those topics which is relevant to the syllabus. If that is the case, first and foremost, I should know what exactly is the syllabus, my dear friends. That is very, very important. I'm telling you decoding because few times, at times, what happens, syllabus is very, very, say, for example, very clear, straightforward, direct. Explicitly, they say that these are the topics what you have to read in the syllabus. But every time it is not the case. Sometimes you are in a position to decode what exactly they are expecting. All right, you have to decode the syllabus as such. I tell you the relevance of decoding the syllabus. Okay, right, very, very important because only if I decode the syllabus, see what is decoding? Very simple, right? This decoding may be a technical word what I'm using it. Something trying to know the subtopics of the syllabus, I call it as decoding. Somewhere, wherever I'm just drawing a larger gamut so that the targeted question generally do not go beyond, say, for example, the boundaries what I have drawn. So, in order to do that, I have to enlarge, enhance, expand my boundary. Okay. So, we'll try to understand what exactly is the syllabus part, at least for geography. Each and every subject, you have to do it, my difference. That is mandatory. See? Okay. What exactly lies in front of you is a syllabus for mains examination. And one more thing, let me tell you. Content for prelims and mains examination, geography content, yes, more or less they are same. I cannot differentiate because see, preliminary examination syllabus for geography is much more larger than the syllabus what I read for mains examination. I'll tell you, whatever you have studied for preliminary examination, not more than 30 to 40 percentage I invest time in reading about what? Reading the same for mains examination. Very limited portion. Okay. But I have to be very sure that okay, what portion I am going to study for mains examination. Preliminary examination, my dear friends, see, the syllabus is given only in two lines. Only in two lines, the syllabus is given. Or I should say, only one sentence it is given. Here, the syllabus is given in three para. See the difference. One sentence versus three para, my dear friends. Three para. If you ask me which is easy for me to prepare, which is easier for me to prepare, undoubtedly, without any second thought or opinion, I will say this three paragraph of syllabus is more easy for me to prepare than for the preliminary examination. Reason? Preliminary examination, the syllabus is indicative. If you ask me what exactly is the meaning of it, right? They say India and world geography, physical, social, and economic geography of India and world. My dear friends, let me tell you, this is what we have in the entire geography. Geography can basically be divided into physical and human geography. The human geography is otherwise called as socio-economic geography. I can study about the entire world or I can study about a specific region like India. Right? That's what they say. World is also here, India is also here. It means preliminary examination syllabus of geography simply says you study geography. That's it. What to study in geography, nobody knows. Right? If somebody is asking, coming and asking me the question, what should I study for geography in civil service preliminary examination? I'll say very simple. You go, you study geography. That's it. Because syllabus covers the entire gamut of geography. Okay, right. But mains, it is not like that. Mains, they are very explicitly they are mentioning that what exactly I have to read. Okay, so I'll decode this three paragraphs first. First three paragraph. Okay, what are the likely subtopics I can derive from these, say for example, paragraphs? What is the approximate, say for example, the source material where I can find it? And of course, I'll show you the past year's question. And of course, I'll take the agenda of this program, right? Answer writing practice as such, but one by one. Because I strongly believe that without the content, right, somewhere selecting a question and randomly writing the answers may not, say for example, almost fruitful. Okay, right, my dear friends. Now, and one more difference between prelims and mains examination preparation, my dear friends, very clear. Preliminary examination, because the syllabus is not so clear, I can go for book-based preparation. Cover to cover, I can read. Cover to cover, I can study. Okay. Sometimes students take literally cover to cover means edition, MRP, everything they study. Okay. But later moment, otherwise, when I talk about cover to cover means book-based preparation, right? Whichever book according to you covers the larger part of the geography, I'll be selecting that as a book, I'll be studying it. But mains examination is not like this. Mains examination, it is topic-based preparation. Prelims is more like book-based preparation, right? Whereas mains examination is topic-based preparation. I'm telling you, no exaggeration, right? Topic-based preparation. When I talk about mains examination, even sometimes I can prepare even without going to the books. Google alone, I would say, maybe that statement can be slightly exaggerated. Somewhere I'm telling you, you can very well manage with the Google itself. Right? Every topic, only thing is that I should know what are the possible subtopics I have to cover, right? In that particular, say for example, this topic, and that every subtopic I have to prepare at least 5 to 10 facts about it. When it comes to answer writing, it is all about the facts being arranged in the way they have asked for. That is an art. Okay, that art also will develop. Okay, all right, my dear friends. Now, trying to understand the syllabus as such, 3 paragraphs are there. And out of the 3 paragraphs, my dear friends, let me tell you the smallest one, which is given only in one sentence. Not even one full line is complete. Salient features of the world's physical geography. And let me tell you, my dear friends, what they call it as salient features of world physical geography is the one which will take much of your time. If entire all 3 paragraphs, if you ask me how many days of preparation I can take it, ideally speaking, say for example, if you're preparing for mains examination after your preliminary examination, it means already you would have read geography. Okay, it is more like a revision. Correct. Somewhere I feel that maximum 1 week of time should be more than enough, right? 1 week time should be more than enough because you already know some of the basic facts about the same. Okay, 1 week is a decent time for covering this areas. Right? 1 week. If you're very slow, 10 days, but not more than that. Okay, this 1 week to 10 days, my dear friends, you are preparing somewhere around 80 to 110 marks. Okay, and here what is going to make much of your, what is going to take much of your time is what? The salient features of world physical geography. Right? I have decoded, but I'll tell you only thing is that what is this salient features of world physical geography? See, it simply says salient features of world physical geography. See, my dear friends, when I talk about world physical geography, right? When I talk about physical geography, okay, not even decoding is not needed. Geography can basically be classified into physical geography and human geography. Okay. Here they are talking about physical geography alone. What all I'll be studying in physical geography, very simple, my difference. I'll be studying about land, I'll be studying about air, I'll be studying about water. Correct? I'll be studying about lithosphere. सर आप कुछ previous years question paper बता दो step by step, my dear friends. We should go in some order. Okay. Without, say, for example, showing you what is the syllabus, if I show you what exactly is the previous year's question, right? How do you justify that, okay, from which part of the syllabus this question is asked from? Okay, right. Patience is very important. Okay, right. Right, my dear friends. Now, as I said, when I talk about the world's physical geography, salient features of world physical geography, when I talk about it, we'll be studying about the land, we'll be studying about the air, we'll be studying about the water. We'll be studying about the geomorphology, we'll be studying about climatology, we'll be studying about what? Oceanography. Okay. But somewhere specifically they mentioned world physical geography. It means we'll be studying about the larger gamut. Okay. We'll be studying about the larger gamut. Okay. Which also includes what Indian geography will within it. Okay, right. So having said this, what is very, very important here is this word called as salient, right? The salient features of world physical geography. In decoding, I'll tell you that what all the topics I can bring it under this world physical geography, I'll tell you. Then see, the rest of the para, it is straightforward, very straightforward. They say distribution of key natural resources. Again, decoding the syllabus of this part becomes what? Very, very simple. I'll tell you how exactly we can decode it, right? Distribution of key natural resources across the world, including South Asia and Indian subcontinent. So whichever is given in bracket, you have to give more emphasis or more focus to it. Okay. Then they say factors responsible for the location of primary, secondary, and tertiary sector industries in various parts of the world, right? This particular part of the syllabus, we say it is industrial location. Okay, for example, if I take cotton textile industries, why exactly cotton textile industry is located here? Why exactly iron and steel industry is located in this part of the world? Am I right? Somewhere I'll be talking about the specific location of the industries in different parts of the world. So somewhere we'll be justifying, say, for example, these facts here. Okay, right. We call them as what? Industrial location. So the second para, right, we can divide them, right, we can actually divide them, right, into two segments. One is natural resources. How to decode natural resources, I'll tell you. And one more thing, UPSC specifically mentioned that don't read all natural resources, the key natural resources, read only what is important, that you have to read. Okay, key natural resources, it includes both mineral resources as well as what, energy resources, both it is included. Okay, right. Then industrial location as such, location of industry. Now the question is, what do you mean by primary sector industry, secondary sector industry, tertiary sector industry? If you ask me, topic is industry. But when I talk about primary industry, my dear, primary sector industry means agro-based industry. Secondary sector industry means manufacturing industries. Tertiary sector industries means service sector industries. Okay, which includes communication, transport, etc. Okay. Now coming to the third paragraph, my dear friends. Again, third paragraph, we have two parts. Okay. Important geophysical phenomena such as earthquake, tsunami, volcanic activity, cyclone, etc. See, this is one part of the syllabus where subtopics are directly mentioned. All other parts of the syllabus, we have to decode what exactly subtopic. For example, when I say natural resources, somewhere I said, right? Either this natural resources can be mineral resource or energy resource. Mineral resource can be metallic and non-metallic. Am I right? Energy resources can be renewable and non-renewable. Again, what are the renewable resources? Again, what are the non-renewable resources? All that I have to decode it. But here the decoding is not needed. Directly they said, okay, important geophysical phenomena such as earthquake, tsunami, volcanic activity, cyclones, etc. Okay. But see, this particular paragraph, what it looks very simple, right? Very simple, straightforward. But you have one very, very important word here, my dear friends. Okay. Very, very important word here. This word, you call them as what? Etc. Right? You call this word as etc. Now, the biggest question, what is this? Can I prepare for words like etc. if you ask me? Very interestingly, I'll tell you, 4 years continuously, four questions was asked from this particular topic. And all the four questions came from only from this word called as etc. See, the question is biggest question. You have plenty of words like etc. in your mains examination. Now, the biggest question, can I decode words like etc.? See, I'm telling you, once you decode words like etc. in your mains examination or main syllabus, half of your preparation is done, right? Half of your preparation is done. Only thing is that I have to somewhere, say for example, frame some relevant topics, or I have to study some relevant topics, right? From this word called as etc. Now the question is, how can I decode this word called as etc.? See, my dear friends, Earthquake, tsunami, volcanic activity, cyclones, etc. means how to decode it? Very simple. Etc. lies well within the same sentence. It means whatever is the, say for example, kind of a relevance it has between earthquake, tsunami, volcanic activity, cyclones. If you ask me, what are they? Very simple. Earthquake, tsunami, volcanic activity, cyclones, they are nothing but what? Natural hazards. It means this etc. will cover other parts of what? Natural disaster. Okay? Or natural hazards. It will simply cover the other topics of natural hazards. Okay? That's what I have said. Somewhere if you're trying to decode what exactly is etc. As I already told you, all this etc. When I talk about, say, for example, earthquake, tsunami, volcanic activity, cyclones, my friends, they are natural hazards. Instead of me decoding it, going by this National Disaster Management Authority of India, right? Going for decoding it, they have identified some of the disasters, and whatever is not covered in my, say, for example, right, my syllabus, I can very well talk about it. For example, earthquake is already covered, right? Flood is not covered, so I can take this flood. Landslide is not covered. I can talk about landslide. Cyclone is already covered. Tsunami is already covered in my syllabus. There is a concept of urban flood, right? Flood in urban areas, you call them as what? Urban flood. Heat waves, all right? Heat waves. All this I can take it, my dear friends. Okay. Instead of me decoding it, NDMA has already decoded it. Okay. Only thing is that I have to add a few facts about this flood, urban flood, landslide, heat waves, etc. And once I see some of the questions that is asked in the past, some of you were asking the previous year's question, right? I'll show you all the questions, 2022 to 2013 questions I have listed it and show you. Okay. Now see, one question it was asked in the past. Even last year this question was asked, right? Relevant question. Himalayas are highly prone to landslide. Discuss the cause and suggest suitable measures to mitigate. All right. Forget about the question. We'll come to the question. What exactly this question talks about? What is the central theme of this question, if you ask me? This theme of the question is revolving around this word called as what? Landslide. What we have decoded. What is not given in the syllabus? What is given under the word called as etc. What we have decoded it. Landslide. Major cities in India is becoming more vulnerable to flood-like condition. Cities and flood. Again, I understand, right? One of the word, what I can put it as what? Urban flood. In what way floods can be converted into sustainable source of irrigation and all weather inland navigation in India? Forget about the question. The central theme of the question is revolving around what? The word called as flood. Okay. Now see, why these questions? Why this natural hazards question outside the four topics, right? Repeatedly we are experiencing, or the questions are asked in the examination. I'll tell you my difference. See, landslide, cities, flood, urban flood, floods, etc. Not given in your syllabus, but still we have taken it as a part of Excel. Now, why these topics are very, very important, I think. See, I should understand. Normally, mains examination happens in the month of September, my dear friends, right? September. And say, for example, prelims is over by May. Normally, we say whatever happens between May to September, it is very, very important for your mains examination. Or to put it very, very precise, this June, July, August, whatever happens, this is very important. The probability of these, say, for example, topics, if it has a relevance with your syllabus, right, has a very high probability to get surfaced in the examination. In that way, when it comes to geography, June, July, August, my friends, this is the time, right, where we experience what? The southwest monsoon. Correct? Southwest monsoon. If southwest monsoon is surplus, if it is surplus, right, I'll be having this cloud burst, and cloud burst resulted landslides I'll be having. Correct? And again, say for example, if at all if it is happening in a mountainous region, I'll be having a landslide. If it is happening in a plain regions, I'll be having flood. The same flood is happening in an urban area, I call them as what? Urban flood. Correct? If at all, say for example, if the monsoon is failing, if it is a failure of monsoon, it may result in what? Drought. Correct? Now I can understand, right? Why exactly these type of questions are repeatedly being asked in the examination because they have a temporal component. Okay. Because every, say, for example, before your examination, monsoon comes in. If it is surplus, it will be resulting in what? Landslide and flood. If it is deficit, it will be resulting in what? Drought. It means this question or these topics are evergreen topics. The possibility of these questions being asked in the examination is what? Very, 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 very high. Okay? Right. Now, having said this, my dear friends, having said this, I'll show you some of the questions which is asked in the past. Okay. I'll tell you under what exactly is the context exactly they are asking this question. So please bring answer writing course on Unacademy Plus. Okay. Right. You'll see that. Okay. Right. Right, my dear friends. Now, having said this, right, I'll show you the questions, my dear friends, right? The questions which is asked from, say, for example, 2022 to 2013. Say, for example, the last year's question, right? Say, for example, describe the characteristics and types of primary rock. So I can accommodate this question in the very first topic called as salient features of World Physical Geography. Troposphere is a very significant atmospheric layer, climatology, right? Again, physical geography. Mention the significance of strait and isthmus in international trade. If that is the case, I can take it more relevant with what? Right? The distribution of key natural and industrial location. You may wonder, right? What is this industrial location you are bringing this trade, international trade? Maybe I can see this as an extension, right, of this international transport. Transport is again what? A service sector industry. Okay. What are the forces that influence the ocean current? Describe their role in fishing industries of the world. Okay. Again, the physical geography question. Okay. Salient features of world physical geography. And see, my dear friends, let me tell you. Some of the questions, they get repeated. All right. With slight change. For example, I'll tell you, 2022, you have this question. Very carefully, if you read it, see what exactly it says. What are the forces that influence the ocean currents? Okay. Even today I'll take this as one question. For answer writing, I'll take this as one question. We'll just come to that. Okay. What are the forces that influence ocean currents? Describe their role in fishing industry of the world. 2022 question. Hope so you remember it. Right? What are the forces that influences ocean currents? Describe their role in fishing industry of the world. Okay. I'll show you one more question, my dear friends. 2015, you have two questions that has been okay. You have one more question is asked in 2015. Right? See the question. Explain the factors responsible for the origin of ocean currents. My dear friends, what is asked in 2015 and what is asked in 2022, right? There is no much difference. What are the forces that influence the ocean current has the similar meaning. And again, say, for example, explain the factors responsible for the origin of ocean currents. Both, I understand, answer to the question will be more or less similar. And see the second part of the same question. How do they influence the regional climate, fishing, and navigation? Correct? Second question. How do they influence the regional climate, fishing, and navigation? Right? Say, for example, see this 2022 question. Describe their role in fishing industry of the world. There they asked three things: fishing, navigation, and regional climate. Here, only fishing industry. See how exactly the questions are getting repeated. I'll show you one more questions where n number of times it gets repeated. At least three times I'll show you where exactly it got repeated. Right? Similar question. Okay. Okay. 2021 question, my dear friends. 21 questions. Differentiate the causes of landslide in Himalayan region, right? And the Western Ghats. Differentiate the causes of landslide in Himalayan region and Western Ghats. See one question. This differentiate the causes of landslide in Himalayas and Western Ghats. Ghats. I'll show you another question. This is 2013 question. 2013 question says, bring out the causes for more frequent occurrence of landslide in Himalayas than Western Ghats. See the similarity of the question. I'll show you one more question. 2016 question. Himalayas are highly prone to landslide. Discuss the cause and suggest suitable measures for mitigation. See, all three questions, they are revolving around the central theme of landslide. And when I say landslide, my dear friends, only two regions are there in India which is prone to landslide to the degree of disaster. One, Himalayan region. Number two, Western Ghats. To be very precise, western side of Western Ghats. So, somewhere I understand the similar question. See, for example, I don't see much of the variation when it comes to what? The difference in the question. So, that's the reason always we say, whenever you start writing an answer for any model questions, always start from UPSC questions itself, past UPSC questions, right? Even say, for example, analyzing 10 years of question is not needed, but at least 5 years of questions somewhere you should write a model answer. Okay, that is very, very essential. Okay, right, my difference. Now, as I said, again, I'm showing you 2013. What exactly is the question that was asked? Bring out the causes for more frequent occurrence of landslide in the Himalayan region or Himalayas than in Western Ghats. I repeat again, bring out the causes for more frequent occurrence of landslide in the Himalayas than in Western Ghats. Okay, simply they're asking. Statement itself somewhere categorically says that, okay, Himalayan region and Western Ghats both are prone to landslide. But why Himalayas are more prone to landslide than the Western Ghats? Okay. Another question, what exactly they asked? Himalayan region are highly prone to landslide. That is not the question, that is a statement. Okay. Now they are asking a question. Discuss the causes and suggest suitable measures for mitigation. Okay. So only thing is that only the case of Himalayas has to be taken into consideration. Okay. And finally, the last year question, 2022 and before that was asked, differentiate the cause of landslide in the Himalayan region and the Western Ghats. It is more similar to 2013 question. Okay. The similar question is getting repeated, my dear friends. Okay. Right. Now, fine. What we'll do, somewhere we'll take some question, right? And I'll say, for example, I'll tell you that how exactly, first and foremost, in examination, real-time examination, what is the availability of time? How many words I should write it? How to prepare some template of answer writing? And how to answer the question as such. Okay. In that way, my dear friends, in that way, for example, right? I will take this question itself, just for a discussion purpose, I'll take this question itself, right? 2021 question, I'm just taking it because this question is often getting repeated, right? Differentiate the causes of landslide in the Himalayan region and Western Ghats. See, this is a straightforward question. Most of the questions which is asked in geography is a straightforward question. Okay, it is more like a factual questions. What is there for opinions, right? There is no opinion-based question as such. Okay, only thing is that directly it is a straightforward question as such. Okay, in that way, right, my dear friends. And one more thing, I know the fact when talk about mains examination, only two types of questions are available. Or it is, say, for example, one is 10 marker, right? 10 marks. And another is 15 marker, my dear friends. 15 marks. See, this 10 marker and 15 markers, of course, what exactly is the word limit? I know. 10 markers, what exactly is the word limit? 150 words. 150 words, right? And say, for example, 15 markers, it is 250 words. 250 words. Okay, right. Now, see, when I talk about this 150 and 250 words, number one, when I just go for this UPSC mains answer script, both sides I'll be having this margins. Okay, not only one side I'll be having margin, both side I'll be having a margin. Okay. In that way, a person who has a normal handwriting, who has a normal font size, who has a normal spacing between the, say for example, sentence. When I say a normal font size and normal spacing between the sentence, in one page maximum I can write 20 lines. Okay, 20 lines. And in one line, somewhere I can have 5 words each. Right? 5 words. That's it. 5 to 6 words maximum. So, on an average, my dear friends, UPSC's paper, whatever they are giving you, right? Say, for example, if I have this normal way of answer writing, I'll be writing 100 words each for one paper. Okay. It means 150 words. Of course, say, for example, this will differ from candidate to candidate. Am I right? Some of them, say for example, the font size will be very small. Some of them it will be very big. And one more thing, you cannot get additional, say for example, answer scripts. Whatever is the space provided to you, say for example, within that you have to write it. I'm telling you, my dear friends, actually speaking, 10 markers, right? Ideally speaking, you should be able to complete in 1.5 pages. Am I right? 1.5 pages, you should be able to complete it. But UPSC will be giving you 2 pages. Of course, at the top of the page, question will be printed. Whereas 250 words, ideally you should complete in, say for example, 2.5 pages. Okay, 2.5 pages where UPSC will give you approximately somewhere around 3 pages it will give you. Okay, it means they will be giving you additional resources, but that is maximum, right? And say for example, don't go for extra words, my dear friends, because I'll tell you, going for extra words means somewhere there is a chance that you might miss some of the questions which you know. Telling you mains examination, leaving a known question is a crime. I'm telling you it's a crime. See, I can leave a question what I have not heard about it. That is okay. Right? My say, for example, lack of knowledge and the lack of time, I can somewhere combine it together. That is accepted. But I should not, but and I cannot leave a known question. If you do not want to leave any question, word management or word limit management is very, very important. And my dear friends, one is word limits, I said. Number two is time. For any 10 markers, my dear friends, any 10 markers, reading the question, understanding the question, framing the structure of the answer, or brainstorming the points and writing. So many steps are involved. First, you read and understand the question. My dear friends, never ever write the answer without understanding the question. Sometimes what happens, only after writing the answer, you know that what the examination or examiner demands is completely different from your understanding. So kindly do not write without understanding the question. So understanding is very, very important. Okay. And somewhere trying to divide or segmenting the question is very, very important. I'll tell you how to segment the question. I'll just tell you. Okay. Right. Now, all this I said. I repeat again. Number one, read the question, understand the question. Try to divide or segment the question. Within one question, how many different questions are asked? Understand it. Number two, say for example, somewhere try to have a blueprint, framework of the question. Am I right? Somewhere structure of the question. Number three, you have to brainstorm the points, right? Then you have to write it. All this in how many minutes you have to do it, my dear friends? You have to do it in 7 minutes, right? The time available with you is only 7 minutes. Okay. Whereas the same for 15 markers, if you ask me, how many minutes it is available? Ideally speaking, it is 11 minutes. Okay. So 10 marker, I can take 7 minutes. And 15 marker, I can take 11 minutes. Put together, say for example, 25 marks, right? Very mathematically calculating 25 marks, right? I can take 18 minutes, right? That is the calculation. Why I'm saying, see, for example, 10 markers totally, I'll take 70 minutes, right? 15 markers totally, I'll be taking 110 minutes, right? Both, if you add it, it becomes 180 minutes, that is 3 hours. Okay. Now, but somewhere I understand, right? 7 minutes, somewhere to put yourself in a safer position. Slightly, if you can reduce that 7 minutes also, it is okay, right? And one more thing, GS, I should understand a few things, very important. Structuring words, the extraordinary language, the beautiful presentation, that and all, it is not going to help you much. Okay. See, presentation should be legible. That is accepted. Okay. But somewhere I understand exorbitant, say, for example, presentation and all, it is not needed. Okay. But say, I should present more of the facts. The diagrams and somewhere, say, for example, almost diagrammatic representation, if it is needed, I will take it, right? I will put it. Okay. And where exactly such diagrammatic representation is needed, that also I'll tell you depending upon the question. Okay. So, my dear friends, so 10 markers and 15 markers, what exactly is the time limit and what exactly is the word limit, I have told you. Okay. Right. And one more thing, not necessarily 250 words means not necessarily that I should write for 250 words. Normally it says your answer should not exceed 250 words. Okay. If I can give more facts, right? More facts within this 250 words. Am I right? 250 words. I can fetch more marks. That's the reason UPSC in the direction itself they have given. Quantity doesn't matter. What matters most is what? Quality. Quality of answer is what more matters. Okay, right. So having said this, my dear friends, some of the examples we'll take it. Right. First, I'll just show you within one question how many questions somewhere I can write decode it or somewhere I can divide it. Okay. Okay. Most of the questions, as I said, they are opinion-based question. Okay. I'll do one thing. Yeah. Okay. So this question itself, this landslide question itself, I'll just take it. The recent one, I'll just take it. Okay. The question says, differentiate the causes of landslide in Himalayan region and Western Ghats. See, if this question is asked in 10 markers, giving an introduction, writing a small header, that and all, it is not needed. 10 markers directly you can shoot that what exactly is my answer. If it is a 15 marker, yes, right? Somewhere I can give a header. My header can say that according to NDMA's classification, Himalayan region and Western Ghats are the only two regions in India which is highly prone to landslide to the degree of disaster. That is the header I can give it. Right. The same question is asked in 10 markers, my dear friends. Directly, I can start writing the answers as such. See here, when I talk about, say, for example, this particular question, it says differentiate the cause. Okay. They're asking what are the causative. These are the only two places. These are the two places where I have landslide. Okay. Only thing is that I should talk about the difference that occurs. Right. What exactly instigate the landslide in Himalayan region and landslide in Western Ghats? What is similarity is not part of my answer. Right. What is different? That is part of my answer. For example, my dear friends. Okay. What is common if you ask me? I'm telling you that is not part of my answer, but still, if you ask me, right, it is Himalayas versus Western Ghats. Okay. Western Ghats. Right. What exactly is the similarity if you ask me? Both are known for escarpments. Right. Escarpments. What do you mean by escarpment if you ask me? Escarpments means steep slopes. Right? See, this is a prerequisite for having a disaster. Sorry, called as a landslide. Landslide is not universal. Only if the slopes are very, very steep, I can have a landslide. Right? But I should have a triggering element. Both the places, what exactly is the triggering element if you ask me? Both the places, Himalayan region, particularly the southern slopes of Himalayas and western slopes of Western Ghats, both are known for heavy precipitation. Heavy precipitation. Sometimes this heavy precipitation, you can also call it as what? Cloud burst. Cloud burst. Extraordinarily, extremely heavy precipitation, you call them as what? Cloud burst. If we have a precipitation of more than 10 centimeters of precipitation happening in less than 1 hour, you call this situation as what? Cloud burst. But let me tell you, whatever I have written is actually not part of your answer. The same question, if it is asked in 15 marker, I can talk about, say for example, these things, right? What is common, I can talk about. But what exactly is the question? Question says differentiate the causes, right? So I should bring the difference between the landslide. What are the different causes of landslide? That is okay. What are the different causes that instigate the landslide in Himalayas, and what are the different causes of landslide that is instigating in Western Ghats? My dear friends, if that is the case, what exactly is the difference? I'll tell you, my difference. Number one, right? Himalayan region, the landslide is also triggered by what? It is also triggered by earthquake, because Himalayan regions are placed along active tectonic plate boundary, right? Tectonic plate boundary, correct? But when I talk about, say, for example, Western Ghats, they do not have any plate boundary. Okay, see, simply I can say no plate boundary. This particular question, my dear friends, let me tell you, for any question that is asked in this general studies, defined structure is not there. There is no defined structure. You should understand one thing. Say, for example, always there is more than one way of answer writing. Only thing is that I should somewhere answer the question that is asked. Okay. Either this question I can take Himalayas on one side and Western Ghats on one side, then I can differentiate it, or I can also talk, it means write it as what? Paragraph. But somewhere if you're giving it side by side, right? I am justifying this question more because they are asking about what? Differentiate. Correct? Somewhere side by side, if I'm just going for comparison, that will differentiate. Okay, so according to me, this particular question, whenever they talk about differentiate, or even if they ask about compare, am I right? Contrast, etc. Right? I will feel that side by side comparison is more logical, right? It is more, say, for example, rational when it comes to what? Fetching the mark. Okay. So, one difference I have just given it. What is the difference? In Himalayas, the landslide is also triggered by earthquake, because I understand Himalayan regions are highly prone to what? Earthquake, because they are located along the tectonic plate boundary, right? The plate boundaries as such. But Western Ghats, there is no plate boundary. Only heavy precipitation. Only during the time of monsoon I'll be having landslide. But Himalayas, I can have landslide throughout the year. This is one difference. What can be the other difference, my difference? Let me tell you. Himalayas are actually made up of what? Sedimentary rocks. Sedimentary rocks. Okay. And let me tell you, the sedimentary rocks are more easily erodable. They're very easily erodable. They are very less resistive to erosion, right? They are very easily weatherable. They are very easily erodable. Okay. Whereas Western Ghats are majorly made up of igneous and metamorphic rock, my dear friends. They are made up of igneous and metamorphic rock. This igneous and metamorphic rock are more resistive to erosion, right? Breaking this igneous rock or metamorphic rock is comparatively difficult. But sedimentary rocks, sediments becoming a rock, something like a sandstone. Am I right? Something like a sandstone. Right? Even marble is more like a sedimentary rocks. Okay. They are more easily breakable, whereas igneous and metamorphic rock are, they are not so easily breakable. Some basic difference I have just brought. Few more difference if you ask me. Okay, yes, right? Few more difference. What are the difference? Let me tell you, Himalayas and Western Ghats, my difference. Right? When I talk about Himalayas, Himalayas, all the slopes of Himalayas do not have vegetation. For example, Northern slopes of Himalayas. Northern slopes. Mostly the slopes towards the Chinese side, right? The Chinese Himalayas, the northern slopes of Himalayas are actually barren. They are barren, right? Generally, they are known for, right, no much vegetation or no vegetation. I'll call it as no vegetation, right? Tree cover will not be there. That's the reason, if you remember Ladakh, right? You take the case of Ladakh. Ladakh normally say Ladakh is a barren beauty. We call Ladakh as a barren beauty. Normally, you try to imagine Ladakh. Ladakh, you will not find much of vegetation, right? Because I understand, say for example, it lies in the leeward side of the Great Himalayas. Okay, it's dry. Ladakh is a desert, example of a cold desert. So much of vegetation is not there. Even sun's rays may not fall directly there. So once I do not have, say for example, the tree cover, if the root of the trees are not there, obviously I understand. The root of the tree will somewhere hold, say for example, somewhere it will be holding the soil together. Am I right? So wherever, say for example, I have the roots of the trees there, right? Landslide will be mitigated. But when I talk about Western Ghats, right? Western Ghats. Now, my handwriting is not so poor, but only thing is the device what I'm using is not that much, say for example, almost aiding me to write it. Okay, right. When I talk about Western Ghats, my difference, both the slopes or both slopes, right, has vegetation, has, say for example, tree cover, my dear friends. If that is the case, I understand, say for example, tree covers. The root of the tree will somewhere hold the soil together, right? Landslide will be comparatively mitigated. Okay, some basic difference I have got. One more difference, if you ask me, Himalayan regions are additionally known for glacial lake outburst, my dear friends, right? Outburst, right? All of a sudden, say for example, a glacier can burst open, right? If a glacier can burst open, right? And say for example, suddenly you will be having a flash flood, right? This region is known for flash floods. Flood occurring in no time, you call them as what? Flash floods. But Western Ghats, no such, right, events will occur. Correct? Now, some basic difference between Himalayan and Western Ghats, right? What triggers a landslide, I have just given it. Okay, right. Now, see, I already told you general studies, when I just talk about the general studies paper, my dear friends, writing an answer, particularly in geography, put together, there is nothing called a structure. Only thing is that I have to keep answering the crux of the question. Whatever way you answer, right? Only thing is that more facts, more points, it should be there. Even the structuring, right? As I said, say for example, right, exorbitant language, right? The beautiful words, right? That and all it is not needed. Even the extraordinary diagrams and all it is not needed. But somewhere understand the question and accordingly you brainstorm it, write an answer for it. Okay. And one more thing, see the question. 2022 question. The direct question they have asked. Okay. And see my difference. If I can take a paragraph from the NCRT, you rewrite the paragraph, right? That makes the answer. Describe the characteristics and types of primary rock. Now, the biggest question, what do you mean by primary rock? Primary rock is the other name for igneous rock, my dear friends, right? That is the other name for igneous rock. So directly somewhere, if I just take the character and types of igneous rock, and one more thing, always try to divide the question. What they are asking, describe what? Describe the characteristic. Number one, I should describe the characteristics of the primary rock, and number two, I should describe the types of the primary rock. Okay. See how much words I have to divide between characteristics and types of primary rock. It is completely rational, right? Normally, I will say that go for 50-50, right? 50 percentage of words for somewhere talking about the characteristics of primary rock, 50 percentage of the words for somewhere describing the types of primary rock as such. Okay, right. Directly, say for example, you take it from NCRT, right? Directly, the same is been discussed in NCRT. I'll also show you. Sorry. Yeah. Chapter 5. Yeah. And I'm just talking about the rock cycle. Somewhere when I talk about this primary rock, my dear friends, see, a paragraph of this igneous rock is given. Okay. Igneous rock is given. Now, say for example, somewhere they have described, I'll just zoom it slightly for you, right? Igneous rock is given. An igneous rock forms out of magma and lava from the interiors of the earth. They are also known as primary rock, right? See, only thing is that if I know that what exactly this primary rock, somewhere, what is the other name for primary rock if you ask me, right? Something I know about it. Okay. I can write this answer very, say for example, easily I can write this answer as such. Okay. Now, say for example, how they are formed, right? The characteristics is also given, and different, say for example, examples of this primary rocks is also given. Okay. So somewhere I understand these are the direct question what I can answer it directly from what NCRT as such. Okay. Right. Now, coming to the another question, what we have been discussing now. One more question, if I just take it. This was the question that was asked again last year, 2022. Again, it was a direct question. For that case, my dear friends, any question that is generally asked in geography, I feel it is mostly 90 percentage of time that will be a direct question, isn't it? Okay. So somewhere I said 90 percentage of the question that will be a direct question as such. For example, right? If I just take troposphere, this particular question, troposphere is a very significant atmospheric layer that determines the weather process. How? Statement itself, they're saying troposphere is a very significant atmospheric layer that determines the weather process. How? Only thing is that I have to justify this word called as how. Somewhere I have to talk about the significance of troposphere, how exactly the weather phenomena and troposphere is actually, say for example, right, influencing or whatever the process in troposphere that is influencing the weather mechanism as such. If that is the case, somewhere I should go for this brainstorming. And let me tell you my difference. Normally we say template of answer writing. What is this template of answer writing? See, nowadays, even say for example, somewhere if you want to, somewhere if you're developing a website, right? Or say, for example, most of the apps that you're creating, it is more like you'll be having a template. Okay. Only thing is that template is more like a structure. If I say template of answer writing, it is more like the pre-existing or a defined structure of answer writing. For geography, I would say there is one template called as WH template, right? Or I call them as what? WH format for answer writing, I'm telling you. What is this WH format or WH template? I'll tell you, right? At least for geography answer writing, this WH format may most of the time will work. For example, if I talk about WH questions by difference, I know, right? What, right? When, where, why, how, even whom, okay? And say, for example, some of the other WH question also, WH also you can add it. I'll put it as what? Miscellaneous topics. Okay. Now see, when I talk about, say, for example, this WH format, how, where exactly I can apply this WH format, I'll tell you. This is one type of answer writing. For example, if you ask me what exactly, when I talk about what, my difference, when I talk about what is more like a concept? It is more like a concept. Okay. When is more like time of occurrence. Okay. Where is location? Where exactly it has occurred? Why? Why is more like, say, for example, the cause, right? The cause. Am I right? How is more like the process, right? Whom is the persons associated with it, right? And miscellaneous, as the name itself says, I can add some of the other miscellaneous facts if I have it. Now, say, for example, randomly, if I just take some of the question, my difference, for example, right? I'll take one question. Maybe I'll take this Alfred Wegener's continental drift theory. Okay. That was asked in 2013, right? Just for one question was asked. Okay. So what exactly they asked you, right? What do you understand by the theory of continental drift, right? Discuss the prominent evidence in its support. Okay. Now see, here itself they have divided the question as such. What do you understand by the continental drift theory is number one. Discuss the prominent evidence or prominent evidence in its support. Okay. Right. Say, for example, if I just go for this, what do you understand by this continental drift theory? Assume that, okay, continental drift theory alone is given as a question. Okay, forget about this particular, discuss the prominent evidence, you forget about it. If I have to answer, write an answer for this question, what do you understand by continental drift theory? Somewhere, if I just employ this WH format, my dear friends, when I talk about what, I'll be telling what exactly this continental drift theory is all about, right? In a nutshell, I'll be explaining it, right? How exactly the Pangaea, got divided into Laurasia and Gondwana land. How post-division this Laurasian land and Gondwana land started moving, particularly Gondwana land started moving towards equator and slightly towards west, and how exactly they integrated with each other to form present-day map of the world. Time. When talk about time, when exactly the Pangaea got divided, when exactly they went for a movement, when exactly they got integrated again. When talk about location, again I am just revolving about Pangaea, Panthalassa, Laurasia, Gondwana, etc. Cause. What exactly would have somewhere, right, resulted in the split of Pangaea, right? Somewhere according to Alfred Wegener, right, he said the split or say for example the drift is generally say for example it is resulted because of what? The oceanic crust, or he says that Sial is floating over what? Sea, right? According to him, the continental crust was floating over oceanic crust, but that itself was proven wrong, right? Let's not take that is that much very means that very seriously. But otherwise, when I talk about cause, why exactly I should take it? Then when I talk about how, my dear friends, when I talk about how, we should explain the process. Am I right? Right? How exactly it got divided? How it went for a, say for example, drift of, say for example, continent from one place to another. And when I talk about whom, I should mention this Alfred Wegener. Okay. Now see what I'm just trying to say. This WH format. If I start writing in WH format, only thing is that I have to rearrange according to the demand of the question as such. If I am rearranging according to the demand of the question, one thing I can do, right? Almost most of the very important points I can cover it. Okay. There, say for example, it will not be a situation that something I'll be leaving it in the examination. Okay. So one safe way of answering, right? One safe way of answering, my dear friends, without leaving much of the question. If you ask me, okay, this safe way of answering, if you ask me, I would say that you should go for this WH format of answer writing. Okay, you can go for WH format. Of course, you have one more format, a very important format, again, a very popular format. That format uses, right? Normally, you'll be giving a small background of a question. Then, right, you'll be telling that why exactly it is there in use. Okay, and of course the issues associated with it, and you will also talk about the way forward. This is another format of answer writing. Okay, so once I have somewhere around 5 to 10 template of answer writing, GS1, GS2, GS3, somewhere holistically I can cover, right? Okay, okay, right, my friends. Some of the other questions, if I'm just writing it, okay, few more questions I'll just take it, and before we conclude the class, right, after one more question, I will also show you the decoded, say for example, the syllabus. I thought of showing you the decoded syllabus first because some of you have asked me for the questions. I have just taken the questions first. Okay. I'll take this one, this 2020 question, my dear friends. 2020 question for discussion. Discuss the geophysical character of circum-Pacific zone. And let me tell you, there is one theory called as plate tectonic theory, my dear friends. Plate tectonic theory. What I understand, say for example, this is one theory. Nearly somewhere around we had nearly 4 to 5 questions that was asked. Even when I talk about, say for example, volcano-based question, that also I'll regard it with plate tectonic theory itself. Right. So plate tectonic theory is one theory where, say for example, almost 4 or 5 question was asked in less than 10 years. If that is the case, I would regard that plate tectonic theory is very, very important. And even when I talk about circum-Pacific zone, my dear friends, circum-Pacific zone, it's very much part of this plate tectonic theory. Okay, now one direct question that was asked in 2020: discuss the geophysical character of circum-Pacific zone. What is that I can write? Say, for example, I'll go for brainstorming because this is directly only one question. I do not have any other sub question that is hiding within the same question, right? One direct question is there. Discuss the geophysical character. It means whatever is the geographical phenomena and the geographical feature, what I identify along the circum-Pacific zone, I should answer. Okay. In that way, my dear friends, if you ask me circum-Pacific zone, the circum-Pacific zone is popularly called as Pacific Ring of Fire. And one more thing, whenever you use this word called as fire in geography, right, particularly geomorphology, fire signifies the presence of volcanic activity. So the name itself says this region is known for the presence of large number of volcanoes. See, if I know the numbers, I can write it. Say, for example, somewhere I can say there are about 450 active and dormant volcanoes along this region, right? Somewhere the Wikipedia, the old Wikipedia information says somewhere around 452 or 453. Approximately, I am just taking it as what? 450 active and dormant volcanoes. If I'm not very sure about the numbers, my dear friends, do not write the numbers. Instead of, say, for example, writing this 450, you can say large number of active volcanoes and dormant volcanoes are present along this region. Okay, this is one way of answering it very safe. Because see, even if examiner is correcting your paper, whenever you're bringing a fact, there is always a chance that he may verify it using the net. Okay, always he can search it in Google. So let's not say, for example, one thing, you should never bluff in the paper. If you know the fact, you write it. Otherwise, say, for example, somewhere use qualitative words. If quantitative words and numbers or somewhere you're not very sure about it, go for this qualitative words as such. So, somewhere I understand you can write it as what? Large number of active and dormant volcanoes are present. And one more thing, my dear friends, this Pacific Ring of Fire or Circum-Pacific Zone, right? This is the single largest continuous destructive boundary of the world. The single largest continuous destructive boundary of the world. Okay. It means, say, for example, this is the largest continuous subduction zone of the world. Within bracket, if you want to write it, you can write it as what? Subduction. Okay. Right. And one more thing, this region is not only known for volcanic activity, because subduction is taking place, this region is also known for the presence of large number of trenches that includes both the deepest as well as the longest trench of the world. Okay. When I say deepest trench, my dear friends, Marianas Trench happens to be the deepest trench. Longest trench is Chile Peru Trench. So some of the examples I can give it. Again, say for example, whenever you write a fact, if you give some examples, right? Examples will give you more value addition. For example, when I talk about active volcanoes or active and dormant volcanoes, right? I can talk about Mount Fiji, right? Sorry, excuse me, Mount Fuji, right? I can talk about Mayon, both on the Asian side. I can talk about even if the volcanoes are there in news, that also I can add. For example, on the US side, I can talk about Mount Barker, Mount Rainier, right? St. Helens, right? I can also talk about South America like Mount Cotopaxi, Mount Chimborazo, and so on, right? One or two examples you give it, that should be more than enough. Similarly, when I talk about trench, at least the deepest trench I can mention it, the longest trench also I can mention it. Okay. And not only that, my dear friends, this region is also known for, right, having large earthquakes. Nearly 90% of large earthquakes in the world is confined to what? This Pacific Ring of Fire. Okay. And one more thing, this region is also known for highly prone to tsunamis. Wherever you have a trench, they're all you'll be having, say for example, this region will be more known for what? Say for example, tsunami, my dear friends. They'll be more known for tsunamis. Okay. And these are some of the brainstormed point. If at all, if you want to bring the name of the plates, which is somewhere, right, converging with each other to form this Pacific ring of fire, that names can also you can bring it, right? Where Pacific plate and North American plate goes for convergence, where Nazca plate and South American plate goes for convergence, where Pacific plate and Eurasian plate goes for a convergence. One or two examples you can always bring it. My dear friends, this is just an open-ended question. I'm telling you again, there is no structure needed. I have to brainstorm it. I have to put it in points. That's it. Okay. Right. Now, see, today's session, more than giving you a sample answer, my intention was to show you what exactly is the syllabus. Okay. I'll go back one back means again, I'll go back to the syllabus again. I have just decoded the syllabus, right? This decoding of the syllabus is very, very important because see, somewhere when I said knowing the syllabus is more like knowing the subtopics. For example, three paragraphs we had. You remember three paragraphs. Salient features of world physical geography is the first paragraph what we had. What are the likely subtopics I can include here? And if you ask me what is the primary source material, I would say primary source material, go with class 11th NCRT World Physical Geography. You call them as what? Fundamentals of Physical Geography. The secondary source, you can go for the GC Leon book. Okay. But again, I'm telling you, this particular, when I talk about mains examination preparation, always remember, I'm not going to book-based preparation. I'm going for what? Topic-based preparation. Number one, interiors of the earth. My dear friends, again, tomorrow's class, I'll tell you what is very, very important. Likely topics or likely questions. Question you cannot predict, but topic you can predict. Likely topic, some of the topics or some of the geography related news that was there in the recent past, I'll take it for discussion in tomorrow's class. And one more thing, when you will be having a superficial idea or a holistic picture of the current events in geography, if you ask me, only at the end of August we'll be having that picture. Okay. Once we have the content, the question alone I'll be giving you in the month of July or August where you should concentrate. Right? Okay. The interiors of the earth, internal structure of the earth is very, very important because, right, the last few months for preliminary examination also you would have studied this, right? At least somewhere the fact it says the core of the earth stopped rotating. Am I right? That's what they have discovered. It has a cycle of somewhere around 70 years. Very recently, it has come to a halt. Maybe based on that, we may have a question. Continental drift theory is an evergreen topic. Plate tectonics, my dear friends, I'm telling you the most important topic is plate tectonic theory. Apart from that, we have this mountain formations, weathering, some of the erosional and depositional features, right? Right. When I talk about weathering and types of rocks can also be included there. Then comes to when I talk about atmosphere, structure and composition of atmosphere. See, this decoding of the syllabus was done earlier. When I talk about last year's question, they asked about the very important layer called as what? Troposphere, the weather layer of the earth. Then we have heat budget, temperature inversions, and so on. I have just given it. Some of the 18 likely topics I have just given it. Of course, depending upon the years, the number of the topics can also what vary. When it comes to distribution of key natural resources across the world, right? Fundamental source or the primary source, fundamentals of human geography, which unit also I have just given it. India, people and economy. That is both are human geography books of class 12. Okay. I've just given you which chapter you have to prepare here. Okay. And secondary source, you can keep it as what? India and world geography by DR. Okay. And what are the topics that I have to prepare for natural resources, key natural resources? I've just given it. And let me tell you my difference. When it comes to natural resources, renewable energies or the non-conventional energy resources becomes very, very important. For example, the wind energy, the tidal energy, the solar energy, Am I right? To some extent, even nuclear energy, I can take it. These are some of the things which is very, very important. Okay. And when it comes to locational aspect of industries, again, I have just given you what are the different, say, for example, industries I can have. See, for example, when I talk about location of industries, according to the syllabus, they have classified three types of industries: primary, secondary, and tertiary industries. What is primary industries? Manufacturing industries, you call them as what? Primary industries, right? Sorry, excuse me. Agro-based industries, you call them as what? Primary industries. Agro-based. Any industry whose raw material is agricultural produce, like sugar refineries, cotton textile industries, jute textile industries, dairy processing industries. All these are agro-based industries, right? Then, say for example, I'll be having, say for example, when I talk about secondary sector industries, is more like manufacturing industries, iron and steel industries, all right, automobile industries. All these are manufacturing industries. Even drugs and pharmaceuticals, these are manufacturing industries. What is this tertiary sector industries? Is more like service sector industries. All right. When I say service sector, my dear friends, I should talk about the locational aspect. Only when the industries are concentrated, I'll be taking as what? Say, for example, the locational aspect. If that is the case, I can talk about tourism. I can talk about transport. I can talk about communication. Okay, right. So this is according to the syllabus. But see, when I talk about industrial location, there is one scholar called as Alfred, right? Weber, right? Wegner is different, Weber is different. So Weber has identified, say for example, three types of industries based on the location. He called it as weight losing industries, weight gaining industries, and industries based on pure raw material. That is one more classification. Okay. Then later part, we also have one more type of industries called as what? Footloose industries. Okay. So all these industries, what I said later, that is what I call it as weight losing industries, weight gaining industries, or industries which is based on pure raw material, and footloose industries. These are the industries which is classified based on the type of raw material. Okay. Right. And say, for example, that way, according to the syllabus, right, this classification is not needed, but still for all safe zone, I've also given you the classification called as what? Footloose industries. What is footloose industries? Any industries that do not depend either on the place of raw material or the place of market. Where an industry can be set up anywhere, you call them as what? Footloose industries. Okay, right. Right, my dear friends. And when it comes to important geophysical phenomena such as earthquake, tsunami, volcanic, etc., volcanic activity, etc., I've just given you the primary source, secondary source, and even the page numbers also I've just given it where exactly you can find the same. Okay, right. What are the topics that you should add it? That also I've just given it. Okay, right. Now see, this document, some of the documents, particularly this subtopic document, that is the decoded syllabus, I'll try to upload it along the video itself, right? So that somewhere, once I prepare some of the basic essence of this topic, the content part of the question will be fulfilled. And let me tell you, geography as such, the structure of the question does not matter a lot. Only thing is that I have to address the demand of the question, right? Even if I'm just somewhere following the factual fashion, that should be more than enough, right? Fine. So, my dear friends, somewhere today, I'll stop this session today here, right? Tomorrow, what I'll do, some of the practice questions from the other areas I'll just give you, right? Uh, a defined structure also somewhere I'll just give you, and the model answer also I'll give you. Okay. So somewhere today, let me conclude here at this moment. Right. Tomorrow, somewhere similar time we'll meet. Okay. So thank you and God bless. Just a piece of information. A new batch is starting on June 8th. completely, say for example, a 1 year batch for GS starting on June 8th, right? So the number is also given where you can say, for example, have more details. You can contact the number and you can have more details regarding the program as such, right? So thank you once again and God bless.